ComeyDeli.com.
You're listening to Allman in the Morning live from the Pro Basement Studio. Pro Basement offering basement finishing where great design and a make-sense price come together. Call Pro Basement for all your basement remodeling needs. Call 314-222-9600.
Allman in the Morning. Jamie Allman. Talk lines are open now at 314-969-9797 or toll free at 866-455-9797. Allman in the Morning. Common Sense Radio.
Good morning, you bunch of drunks.
Bet.
What?
Bet.
I didn't notice anything.
Why'd your radio start playing low light when I was playing In Hiding?
It's crazy how that
By
happens.
Pearl Jam. You need to get a control of that radio of yours, by the way. Lord.
I shut and locked the front door. No way in or out. I turned and walked the hallway and pulled the curtains down.
Radio was going rogue there.
We're having trouble in the video.
You need to give your radio a little speech. That's what I give to my people all the time.
If you loved me and you submitted to me, you'd know what my heart is and my message is, and you wouldn't go about establishing your own kingdom in the video room.
Right! So tell that radio to stop playing when I'm not playing. By the way, Pippi and I, Revenge of the Crazy Pants, since Denise and Katie yesterday wore like these crazy pants.
Not planned, completely random.
But we felt
showed
left
up in
out, so Pippi and I
loud
decided we're going to
pants.
wear our crazy pants today.
And we weren't allowed.
And you all weren't allowed to, so the picture is up there on Twitter of Pippi and I posing in our crazy pants.
Just wait, Katie and I will plan something else. We're going to outdo this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Watch Doug Giles, though. He's going to make fun of me because he's going, oh, crazy pants.
Doug
Giles.
It's only through your show, your Clash Daily, other sources for news, would you even get that kind of intel?
But I have an excuse. These crazy pants are American flag pants. So
yeah,
don't
but they're
be...
not the only crazy pants that you have.
No, they're not. But don't tell Doug that, please. He just wrote a book called Pussification, The Effemination of the American Male. And those other pants I would not get away with in the midst of Doug Giles. These ones I will. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Hey, Jamie, as long as they're not skinny jeans.
No, they're not. These are skinny.
Wait, he had to double check. Just so you know.
I don't really know. Are skinny jeans the ones that like go right to your ankles or something?
Yeah, tight ankle.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah,
No.
not a good look for a dude. unless he's starring in Peter Pan, and then it's okay.
Right, exactly.
I hear.
No doubt about it. So yesterday, it's just been fun watching, because you deal with this all the time, the crazy left-wingers hoping and praying. I mean, Brian Williams kind of was the king of the fairies yesterday when they were trying to just shoehorn disaster into this Comey hearing. You know?
Could this dissolve everything?
So, no, Brian, it can't. What do you think?
I think the left's starting to act a little like Jan Brady and do this whole Russia, Russia, Russia all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. I thought Newt Gingrich's analysis of Comey was brutal and spot on. And I haven't deep dove into this scenario, and it's so convoluted and twisted. Man, I tap out in like 3 seconds, like I'm fighting Royce Gracie. You know, I really don't care. If the left's on it and the left's cheerleading for it, then you know it's just bogus as hell.
Right.
And let me tell your liberal listeners who think that this is going to be a gotcha moment, trying to connect Putin to Trump, which is hilarious. Every time the liberals think that they've got Trump down for the count, he Deadpools them. He resurrects. He's Lazarus, and he gets the last laugh. So go ahead, trot on out, bray your insanity to everybody, laugh that this is Trump's Waterloo. I guarantee he's going to surfboard right over it.
Yeah, it certainly looked like his Waterloo last night in Kentucky. Let me tell you, this is after Gloria Borger had said it was the worst day in the president's. Here's her from CNN.
This is the worst and most perilous day of Donald Trump's young presidency.
Yeah, I mean, a couple hours later, we're like, oh, look, he's on the stage there in Kentucky. And there's your worst day in this young presidency. That was crazy. That was a great speech.
And the line on his worst day, when everybody is now against him, and according to the Rag Daily Mail, his popularity is below Satan's and used car salesman and televangelist. They've got a line that's over a frickin' mile long, and it looked like about 100 yards thick. So I guess they're all coming to see him, implode and stuff. They're so full of crap. They're so desperately seeking Susan, and I'm loving it, man. Go kooky, go crazy. Follow Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah,
knock yourself out. Get Tommy Lahren to cheerlead for you now. It seems like she's switching sides.
Yeah, and then they also had to trot out their secret weapon, Chelsea Handler, and her tweet about a grandbaby of President Trump. That was perfect. So they've got Snoop Dogg, Bow Wow, Chelsea Handler, Rachel Maddow, and Brian Williams. And Keith Olbermann. That's the resistance movement so far.
Yeah, man, and you're forgetting that old beef jerky armed Slim Jim Madonna, and her blow up the White House cheerlead. Oh, I forgot one, the gelatinous Rosie O'Donnell, who's also quite fetching, isn't she? She's one of their, again, top pom-pom squad leaders, and if I was a liberal, I'd step and fetch right behind that trail of clowns.
So tell me about the pioneer woman that you have up there on Clash Daily, and this is another example of pussification. And this celeb, she's accused of racism after talking to a guy about chicken wings. What happened there?
The chicken wing girl. Let me see.
Yeah, it says pussification. Celeb accused of racism after saying this about chicken wings, and it was basically the pioneer woman, and she's a self-made success story. She's a wife, she's a mom, she's a cook, she's a blogger, she's an author, and she's on the Food Network. And she's up there, and she's talking about this.
The PC cops, they're after her because she's talking about thick dumpling skin.
Right, exactly.
And, it's a support group for Asians with poor body image, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, but these guys are trying to kind of find every little nook and cranny that they can go into, to ultimately try to just. It's like they're after everybody, and they're not focusing. I hate to give the left advice, but again, they're not. They have no candidates. They have no ideas. They have the PC police, and they have Twitter, and negativity, but they have nothing else going for them. I kind of feel bad for them, to tell you the truth.
Well, they are, like you said, the PC cops, and pussification is their game. I don't know if you've seen this. We've got it up where a university releases this massive, lame list of words never to be spoken on campuses. Don't use the word normal, Jamie, to describe people without disabilities. Some races and ethnicities have multiple terms associated with them. When possible, ask for a person's preference, i.e. Native American or American Indian. Use historically underrepresented groups or people of color instead of minorities. People of color are actually the majority in many large U.S. cities, and gender is an individual's internal sense of feeling like a woman, man, both, or neither. And sex, my friend, comprises biological and physiological characteristics, including reproductive organs and hormones. Sex is assigned at birth and is not synonymous with gender. And my brain at 8:30 in the morning is officially in a knot.
So, Doug, okay, in your work on the pussification book, you've had to discover, like, for instance, this was at Emerson College. So who is it that busies themselves putting together these kinds of directives? Because otherwise, normally, we all kind of have to survive in a world where we got to watch. You do have to kind of sometimes watch what you say, but all the accountability is within the group of people you're hanging out with, as opposed to somebody directing it from on high. So, who in the hell are these people who sit around and I guess they have meetings with their box lunches in the conference room, and they come up with this list. Who are these people?
Well, got me, man. They obviously don't have alarm clocks. They obviously don't have 3 or 4 businesses to run because, frankly, as an entrepreneur, Jamie, I ain't got the time to get that busy in making certain words and in monitoring people and what they say and what they do. And I'm too rowdy for that, man. Too busy. And they must be little snowflakes. But yes, they do need to get pussification and the coloring book for college crybabies, of course. And Jamie, I've got a contract looking at me right now for a new book. I don't even know if I want to tell you about it.
Why not?
Because it's going to hurt some people bad.
Well, now you have to tell me about it.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to roll it out on your show.
Yes.
It's never told anybody. I'm doing a book called Why Men Hate Church and What to Do About It.
Oh. Well, I mean, considering how many people it seems as we become more and more secularized, all you have to do is look at Europe and what happened when people kind of stopped going to church, essentially, or stopped getting involved in organized religion. Guess who moved in?
Here's as I've been a Christian for a while. My wife and I moved to Texas. Want to go to church, so I don't feel like I'm the devil on Sunday and stuff. So we start poking around looking for churches. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know what has happened to the evangelical world, but it is filled with a bunch of Nancys. The pastors are softies. The worship leader has got so much gel in his hair, you could use it as a weapon. It's way effeminate. I kid you not, I watched 2 men sing to each other on stage in a church, looking at each other's eyes, and then they danced together. And then they told us to turn around and hug everybody and sing to them, "You love them with the love of the Lord." And I'm just like, really? Do I have to check my brain and my testicles at the door to join this place? And so from there, I just went through a whole litany of stuff that I feel that if the church is going to confront darkness in our nation, if we're going to attract men, because mostly women go to these things, then we've got to fire pastors, fire worship leaders, and get dudes that are like Clint Eastwood or John Wayne or Steve McQueen to lead these flocks. Yeah. Or we're going to have a bunch of prancing dandy evangelicals that are a fraction of what the rowdy Christ was like. That guy's a 30-year-old rebel, and they killed him for a reason.
So you're thinking like a Jimmy Swaggart without the baggage type of thing? It's not so much one particular thing, but it's like it's so soft, man, and it is so effeminate. And I take the liberals to task and stuff, but I would say that there's a lot of like I said, some evangelical and Catholic churches that need to be thumped on the skin. Why don't they call out crooked politicians? Why did they stay silent the whole time Obama's ruining our nation? Oh, we don't want to lose our 501c3 nonprofit status if we go political. Well, the left goes political all the time. You look at Father Flager, you look at Reverend Jeremiah Wright, you look at all the radicalized leftist church. They destroy and slaughter people on the right. But when it's the onus is on us as a body of faith to expose stuff that's anti-constitutional, anti-freedom, then we just sit on our hands and talk about, other stuff. And to me, you're not worth your salt if you're not purposely pounding the issues of the day and informing your people, not just about stuff in heaven, but what's going down here on earth and why they need to be concerned about it. So, well, I guess there's a happy medium too, to a certain degree, because like back in the day, like I'm Catholic, but back in the day, pre-Vatican II, the priests said mass with their backs to you. So I don't know whether you want to go that far back, but that's how it used to work. But we'll see.
There just needs to be some testosterone in the pulpit. There needs to be again. You look at the guys who carved out this nation. All of them, our framers and our founders, most of them had theological degrees, and they weren't these little dippy people that wouldn't say anything about politicians. They didn't eschew issues that were quote unquote worldly.
Well,
crafted Western civilization, and I think we could use some of that in the pulpit.
Well, this ought to be good. Now, this ought to be good. So, are you going to put this? Are you going to find some way to put this in the religion section of Amazon, like you did with pussification?